Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you so much to all of the new people who've been subscribing recently. It is so nice to have you on board and to watch this community that we're building together grow. As you can see from the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about forgiveness. So you may want to grab a journal or a notebook and a pen, and let's get comfy so we can get started. Forgiveness is a really large part of spirituality, and that's because healing and releasing what isn't serving you so that you can move forwards with your life is a really big part of spirituality. And so of course you cannot heal fully if you cannot forgive. So what do I mean when I say forgiveness? Well, traditionally people think of forgiveness as meaning that you're condoning the other person's behavior or actions towards you that caused you hurt and upset. And when you hear that, it's actually really hard to want to forgive somebody or to be willing to forgive them, because immediately you think, but why should I? They did me wrong and they caused me harm, or a family member or a friend of mine. Why should I forgive them? Why should I condone what they've done? But what really helped me was to realize that forgiveness is actually about letting go of the anger, the pain, the hurt that the other person has caused you, so that you can make way to release that out of your life. So forgiveness is definitely not about condoning or pardoning someone's behavior or actions towards you. And I want to make that really clear so that you can connect with the idea of forgiveness and forgiving someone or forgiving yourself. I remember about 5-6 years ago, I was giving myself a reading with, I believe it was Doreen Virtue's Mermaids and Unicorn Oracle deck, which I don't know if you can get that anymore, because I know obviously Doreen Virtue has moved away from spirituality towards Christianity, I believe. However, the card I pulled at the time was about forgiveness, forgiving the other person, and it explained that forgiving was actually about releasing the hurt and the anger that you felt so that you could clear and heal what had happened between you and the other person. And that was a huge revelation for me, and I immediately felt like I could make more peace with other people and what they'd done to hurt me in the past, and also forgive myself for allowing other people to treat me badly. Then fast forward a couple of years, and when I was doing my training as a spiritual life coach, one of the forgiveness practices we learnt was the Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian practice. And it's a really beautiful technique for forgiveness, and it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And that's a really beautiful practice to use when you're working with forgiving somebody or forgiving yourself. And it can be really difficult to say some of those words. If somebody's really hurt you or done something quite traumatic towards you, it can be very difficult to say the words, I love you. And so you may wish to break that forgiveness down and start with something smaller, such as forgiving somebody who jumped in front of you in a queue, or pushed past you with their trolley, or didn't say thank you when you held the door open. All of these little things we need to be able to heal, because small things can become greater resentments if we hold them within. And there's nothing wrong with feeling angry. I actually really disagree with the belief that anger is a negative or toxic emotion. Actually, harboring anger is what makes it toxic. Expressing your anger safely and releasing it is a very healthy thing to do. All of these emotions are part of being human, and therefore they're also divine. So you need to be able to feel them, release them, and therefore then you're able to heal them. So as I say, forgiveness can come in all forms. It could be something small, or it could be something a lot larger and more painful for you. And if that is the case, you may prefer to work with a professional, a counselor, or a healer of some sorts to help you move through and release the pain and trauma that you may have been holding onto or experiencing from that certain situation or that person. But there are some simple things that you can do yourself at home in order to get the ball rolling and to start to release and let go and heal those emotions and actually forgive. So the first step is journaling, and that's why I said get your pens and your paper. So you can pause the video now if you like, and just start by journaling just the smallest things that you need to forgive, whether it's to yourself or to another person. And you could just start with, I'm willing to forgive you for, and then just start journaling and see what comes through. And it might be that it's something really small and really manageable, or it might be that you carry on going and 20 pages in you think, wow, okay, I've released a lot, that feels really good. So that's a really healthy way to start forgiving, is to start writing out what it is, what the grievance is that you have with the other person, And then you can destroy what you've written, either by, if you're typing it, you can move it into the trash bin, or if you can, and it's safe to do so, burning the letter that you've written can be really powerful. If you don't have access to that, then what you can do is have a forgiveness journal where you can specifically keep it just for writing out your anger and emotions and upset towards people or a person who's hurt you in the past, or again, forgiving yourself, and just keep that locked away somewhere safe and only get that out when you know that you need to work through a grievance. So you may want to pause the video now in order to start that. So the next step that you can do is writing a letter to somebody. And that could be, as I say, typing or writing a letter out, saving it or keeping it in a safe space, and then coming back to it a week, 2 weeks, a month later, seeing if you still feel the same, seeing if you need to add anything or if you can edit and take things away, and maybe even just totally redrafting it if the first letter doesn't feel true to you anymore. Now then you have two options. Again, you can either burn it or shred it or destroy it in a safe manner, please. I don't want any houses burning down because of this. Or you can send the letter to the person whom you wish to heal it with. If you are going to post the letter to someone, then I would advise making it more about how you feel and what you experienced, as opposed to placing blame on the other person, because that's not going to create any space for healing. If you're saying to somebody, you did this to me, you did that to me, and blah blah blah, it was awful, blah blah blah, they're not going to be in a reciprocative space to say, okay, yeah, I can hear where you're coming from. I can see where I did upset you. I'd like to apologize for that or put that right. So I would advise just really thinking over, is it the healthiest thing to do to reach out to that person and send them this letter? And how would you feel if you were the one receiving that letter? Would you be open-minded to it? Because there is a possibility that if you send a letter to someone, that they will not receive it in the way you hope that they will or intend that they will, and they may in fact disagree with what you're saying or not remember events in the same way that you do. So I would advise only posting and sending that email or that letter to someone if you genuinely really feel that you're ready for it and you're ready for whatever they may send back to you, or they may completely ignore it. So you really need to be in quite a strong, stable space, mentally, spiritually, physically, if you're going to be doing that process. So another step that you can take, if you feel really, really angry towards this person or about the situation and you can't send them a letter, or you find that when you are writing a letter, it's just not cutting it and you don't feel like it's let any anger go, well then what you can do is something that I really enjoyed doing and I made up about 4 or 5 years ago. When I was feeling really hurt and betrayed by a friend and I couldn't talk to them. Every time I tried to meet with them and say, you really hurt me, they kept cancelling or they wouldn't agree to meet me in the first place. So eventually I thought, I'm going to have to deal with this. And so I bought a pack of balloons. Ironically, the only balloons they had in the shop were actually Halloween balloons. So there were ghosts all over them, which I felt was really representative of healing and releasing the ghosts of my past. So I really liked the universe's sense of humour there. Thank you, universe. And what I did was I filled the balloons with water and I imagined that all of my anger and hurt and just deep sorrow, actually. I was really saddened that this person had hurt me in this way. And I imagined all of that was in the balloon and I took it outside. I threw it against a stone on the floor so that the balloon could burst. And then I imagined that all the water was then filtering down into Mother Earth so that she could transmute my emotions back to love. And I put a lot of effort into the actual throwing of the balloon because that to me was like I was throwing my anger out of my body. And I definitely found it really releasing and really helpful. And then when I went back a few weeks later to write a letter to this person, which I then burnt, I found I was able to express it a lot more clearly and with a lot less anger within it. So when I did that, I really felt like I'd released all of the pain and the hurt that I'd been feeling. And then I could move into a space of forgiveness. And another step or action that you could take for forgiveness is either a meditation or a visualization. And again, this depends on the level of which you feel you're ready to work with forgiving that person and letting any anger and upset that you have go. So why don't we just step into that space and do a visualization together now. If you don't have time, then do come back to this video when you feel you're ready or willing and able to work towards forgiving somebody. So just finding a nice comfortable space where you won't be disturbed and taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, deep into your stomach. Exhaling fully through your mouth. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. Exhaling fully through your mouth. Releasing any nerves, any tension, any worries. And taking another deep breath in. And setting the intention to drop your awareness into your heart center so that you can operate from this space today. And exhaling. And I'd like you to visualize or imagine that you're in a place where you feel safe and loved. This could be a place you actually know, or it could be an imaginary space. And just know that you are safe throughout this visualization. And then you may wish to call upon your guides or your higher self to be present and to guide you through this forgiveness ritual. And just maintaining this calming, relaxed breath. And setting the intention to be willing to forgive the people or person who have caused you harm. Or to forgive yourself. And if you feel safe to do so, I'd like you to visualize the person or people who have caused you harm entering this space that you're in, knowing that you are completely safe in their presence now. And I'd like you to repeat in your mind or aloud, I am willing to forgive you. I am willing to release any anger or hurt I feel towards you. I am willing to let this pain go so that I can move forwards in my life, filled with only joy and love. And you can repeat this process as many times as you need for as many people as you need. So visualize the next person entering this safe space and repeat again. I am willing to forgive you. I am willing to release any pain, anger, or resentment I feel towards you. I am willing to let go and move forwards, filled with only joy and love. And just continue this practice for as long as you need. you've forgiven everyone that you need to, just imagine any pain, any anger, any resentment leaving your body. And dissolving into the earth beneath you, to be transmuted back to love by Mother Earth. So that you are free to move forwards and enjoy each day with the joy and the love that you deserve. And take another deep breath in. Breathing in all of that goodness, expanding your stomach now that all of this space has been created. And exhaling slowly and fully through your mouth. And taking another deep breath in, feeling lighter and freer. And as you exhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, coming back into the room around you, to be totally present in this now moment. So that's just one example of a visualization / meditation that you can use for forgiveness, and you can always return to that whenever you need. And I'm sure there are many more free meditations that you can use for forgiveness out there. So I just wanted to give you a taster and get you started today. And if you are struggling at all with forgiveness, or feeling as though there's something that you need to heal and release, and you would like to work with myself to heal it, then please do get in touch with me. I will put my email address in the description box below, and we can organize a session to release and heal that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video.